Doing things around here on my screens. Shelly, are you the one that went to the appreciation yesterday in Capital City, Salem?
Yes,
How was it?
it was good. Yeah,
Good.
it was fun to go to. It was fun to meet people in person and get to talk to them. And so yeah, I was glad that I went.
Awesome. Good, good. Yeah, it's nice to get to know who's in the brokerage and yeah, the more you plug in and get to know these people, then the more you'll know who to ask questions to. Like I know
Yeah,
if there's any little thing, open house, I know exactly who to go to here, so you'll get to know your people. It's great. I'm glad you went. Sometimes it's hard stepping out into a new thing, but it's
yep.
awesome. Okay, I'm
Today
gonna
I
give
did.
it. Go ahead.
Oh, today I did home tours with MVAR, and that also, because it's just a whole bunch of different realtors from different brokerages, and that was also really good. And they really encourage more people to do it because, again, it's the same thing. It's kind of stepping out, but you're learning, but you're also getting to see all these different homes, and everybody's discussing the different things. So, yeah, I really had a good time doing that. I will do that again because I really not only got to meet a lot of people, but learned a lot, saw a lot, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'd
That's
encourage it to
amazing.
anybody.
I love that. I think here down in Eugene, I think it's broker tour that they call it, and they meet and then they go out and
Yeah, that's what they call it as a broker.
Tammy Sue, what are you doing?
I'm on the wrong Zoom.
Okay, well, just make sure not to log into this one somewhere else because it'll kick us off.
I'm so stupid.
And no, you're not. You're just overworked.
Hi, Shelley. Okay, bye.
Bye. All right. It's the problem when we share a network Zoom. Perfect. Okay. I still want to give it maybe one more minute. Hi, Matthew. What market center are you affiliated with? Oh, I think you're muted.
Southern Oregon.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Are you in Medford or K Falls or?
Jacksonville.
Okay. Perfect. Um, Great. Well, while we wait for Kurt to jump on, because he's going to teach how to capture more leads, which is a really great class if you are looking on how to get your leads converted. Matthew, how is business going? Have you made your contacts?
Yeah, I've made contacts with stuff. Continuing talking to people. Just got my business cards will be here this week. Website's up and going. I've got a QR code on the card that goes to the website.
I love that.
Yeah. I've got some other ideas that I'm working with to make content and stuff for it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then yeah, just continuing trying to drive that. I've been getting my forms in order. Mara sent me a thing to get all my templates done and how to load that. So I've been loading those and working on the templates. So I've got that ready. Just working
Yeah.
on a lot of the infrastructure, working a full-time job and then this on the side. It's more, I want all the infrastructure ready. So that
Yep.
way when I do say, okay, I'm ready to go full time, I've at least got the infrastructure done and then it's the step work then.
Yep. Yep. The back end systems. Yeah, and it's quite a lot to set up, isn't it? Yeah.
It's a lot, but and it's new to me. I have never done computer stuff, and I kind of always avoided it. So it's learning apps in the language of computers, as long as learning
Yes.
the language of real estate. It's a lot, but
It is a
that's
lot.
okay.
What do you do on what do you do? Anything like contractor? Are you a handyman? What do you do?
I've done all that in the past. I was a store manager at Lowe's Home Improvement, and now I'm a surgical assistant in the operating room.
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh,
Everything. That's amazing.
yeah, now I'm trying this out.
Now we're trying this out. Well, it's probably just as exciting as an operating room, just in a different way.
Yep, different way.
I know I'm going to say that's a pretty big leap to go from the operating room to this.
It is. It is. It's something I've always wanted to kind of get into, especially with flipping houses and doing things like that. Because I've done a lot of homework, and we're remodeling a house right now for ourselves. But yeah, it's something I always kind of wanted to get into, and this seems like a good avenue to have some money work for me as well.
Yes, yeah. It is a good thing to have to build the wealth and legacy. I love real estate, so
Yeah.
I can't ever say anything bad about it because it's so much fun, even on the worst days, right? It's good days and bad days.
Yep.
Probably just like the operating room. So
Yeah.
let me see where Kurt is. I text Mara to give him a text. See, she responds very quickly. The woman had a baby less than 24 hours ago, and she's just on it. She never stops. I will not be able to teach you much about capturing leads with the Ignite class. I usually coach and train top 20% here at Keller Williams. And I'm in Eugene, Springfield. But I will tell you a little bit about Kurt. So when he jumps on, you know who he is. So he's got a fascinating background. He is located in the capital city, Salem Market Center. Um, he returned to Portland in 2016 after spending 2 decades, and he was traveling throughout the nation, assisting thousands of families whose properties were damaged and lives affected by natural disasters. So he, as a commercial and residential claim specialist in catastrophe operations, and then he went into management. He gained the skills that made his real estate a success. So he involved empathy, listening, integrity, problem solving, negotiating, communication, and most importantly, the commitment to put the interests of others as his top priority, as we do in real estate. Previously, Kurt was also a storm chaser and actively pursued severe weather events to study and document building materials in order to provide guidance on safer construction. So he has had his hands in a lot. Give me 1 minute. I'm gonna go off camera for 1 second just so I take this phone call from Mara and figure out what we're doing, okay?
Clients, but they are friends of ours, friends of ours.
Very
And
cool.
so I'm hoping it works out.
Yes.
I know I'm not doing very good at putting things in command. In fact, I'm locked out of my command right now. I got to figure that out. I was trying to get on it this morning and I was struggling. So the
Yes.
one on my phone and my computer, I'm like, what the heck? So-
Reach out to your front desk. I think it's front desk 736 at KW, and she'll be able to unlock it for you.
Oh, okay.
Because
Yeah, Samantha
Sam.
Medford or Sam.
Sam. Yeah. Yep. She'll help you out because command is important, especially if you have a possible listing coming. So
I know. Yeah.
it's an important thing to have.
That would be nice.
Yes. And are you continuing to make your contacts?
I am. I just haven't been putting them in. But I've been listening to a lot of millionaires, and then I've listened to Sam sent one out at Christmas time that was it was like it wasn't the millionaires, but anyways, one of those, and I really, really, really liked it, and so I guess I want to model myself after what I heard on that meeting, and so I
Yeah.
really am trying to figure it out how to do it. So that's
I
kind of where
love
I'm at.
that.
It's yeah, because you're always progressing. When you first start, you really don't know what you're doing. And so you're just taking and absorbing. And that's kind of where I've been. And so now I'm like, okay, I think I'm ready to start figuring it out a little bit further and a little bit deeper.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Find that person that is leading their business like you want to lead yours and R&D it. Yep.
Yes,
Take what you want.
that's my goal.
Yeah. And Elmer, you got on. Welcome, welcome. How's business going, Elmer? If you're able to chat. If you can't, I understand.
I have my baby with me, but
Oh,
so far so good. Um, Same, just trying to get everything set up. I have possibly a lead,
ooh.
so that's new because I told somebody at work that a different workplace that I started as a real estate, and they're like, "Oh, nice, maybe I could use you in the future." And I
Yeah.
kind of said, "Yeah, that'd be great if you were my uh, first client, I guess you could say, yeah."
I love that. Yes, do not be a secret agent. I know Mara has told you that before. Let it
Yeah.
be known what you do. You're here to help. This is Leslie. I told them they were in for a treat today, Leslie. I did. And you apparently got to meet
No
Shelly
pressure.
and talk with her yesterday. So, I'm not sure. I didn't. Elmer, what market center are you with? Are you Portland, Salem, Medford?
Yeah, Sunset Corridor.
Awesome. So you have a Sunset Corridor, and then Matthew and Zinnia are Medford, and Shelly is from Capital. So a little bit of everyone. I am gonna hop off here. It's recording, and you will hear a doorbell if someone comes in, Leslie, so you don't have to keep an eye. Do you want me to keep talking for a few more minutes so you can get everything set up?
If you just keep talking for just a second,
Perfect.
and then I'm gonna rock and roll through this. And Shelly, it's great to see you on the call. I told her last night at the appreciation banquet, if I teach, you better show up. So it's so funny. Like here we are, like less than like a whole day later, and here she is. Kate, did you tell them that like I'm like a surprise speaker?
Yes, and I kind of introed you just as an amazing businesswoman. You lead a great team up in Portland. You're the general manager of the Experience Brokerage Network, which is a huge job. And yeah, she leads the way for us all. So I told them they're in for a treat today.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, let's do this. Okay, you guys, I am going to let me make sure. I'm gonna hold on. Will you make sure which screen are you seeing? Are you seeing the correct screen, you guys?
Nothing yet.
Okay.
It's still black. It says there we
Just
go. It says Ignite. Yes. Session
okay.
9, capture more leads.
Okay, you can see the Ignite screen. Perfect. Good. Like
Yes.
first time Zoomer here. Just kidding.
No, it's difficult. I'll wait to make sure everything is rolling before I jump off.
No, you're totally good. Okay, you guys, let's rock and roll. Kate, you feel free to go, but Kate, you're gonna cover for me on the next call, yeah?
Yeah, what? Yes. Yes, I am.
Okay.
Aha! Bye,
Team-
guys.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
That's right.
Okay. All right, you guys. Well, she gave you my bio, but Shelly, you got to learn a little bit about me last night. But oh, I'm gonna let Ellie in. Yay. What you may not know is, well, you should know is I am not your instructor for today. Did she tell you that?
Yes, she did.
Okay. You know what the beautiful thing about our brokerage network is that um, if somebody has an emergency, like here at KW, we believe like in faith, family, business. And if you have like a life emergency, if you have a family emergency, you have a medical emergency, like we got you. Like we got you and we don't just say those words, we live those words. So, like, your PC coach had a baby yesterday, and your instructor today just got admitted to the hospital. So they were like, Leslie? And I was like, where's the material? Let's do this thing. So the good thing is that I've been doing this for a really long time, and we're gonna have a really awesome class today. I have all the material in front of me, and I have been teaching real estate for almost 30 years. So we're gonna stay on script, but we're gonna may go off a little. But my hope is that you're gonna have a powerful and productive day today. So we're going to do capture more leads. So we're going to start with this, you guys. I will promise you this, whether you show up in one of my Ignite classes, a training, or in one of my masterminds, it is going to be a highly engaged class. If you are able to turn your video on, I'm going to ask you to do so. Usually if you're in a room with me, I'm teaching to like the bigs of the bigs, and I love interaction, although I love little black boxes, and sometimes that is like the best you can do, and I respect that. Like when your instructors show up, they're giving you their time, and we're hoping like that we're pouring into you, and we're hoping that we can like interact with you. So the best of your ability, we're hoping that we can do that. So in either the chat box or in if you want to shout it out or you want to use your fingers, who on here has closed a transaction? Anybody? Okay.
I'm hoping to have my first listing, hopefully.
I love it.
I have to
So-
tell you, I had one and I lost it. So now I'm like a little more diligent.
Okay, I love it. Okay, so that means we actually have a signed contract. Who on the call has a signed contract of any kind? A listing contract or a buyer representation agreement?
I have a couple buyers, but we haven't found the right house yet.
Wait, if you have a buyer, that means you have a buyer representation agreement, correct?
Yes, correct.
Amazing. Okay, so next question I have for you is, we're talking about lead generation or capturing more leads today. And I know a lot of your classes are about lead generation. And I also know you go through a lot of stuff in Ignite and you're going to end and you're like, that was just like a whirlwind of stuff. So on a scale of 1 to 10, who feels like they have their lead generation locked in? Where would you rate yourself on a lead generation spectrum?
0.
A 0. A 4. Matt gave it. That's a 4. I love it. Okay, Xenia, did you say a 0? Am I saying
Yes.
that right? Is it Xenia?
Yes, yes. I know it needs a lot of work.
I love it. Okay. Shelly, where would you put yourself?
I would say I'm probably, at a 2 or 3 also.
2 or 3. Elmer's a 5. Ellie, where would you put yourself?
I'm going to say 0 because I'm brand new with Keller and just going through the classes. And also, I'm going to take my picture away because I'm driving right now and I'm going to be watching my grandson. So I'll be
safe.
listening. Yeah.
Just be safe.
So,
That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
just
no
didn't want you to
matter.
think I was ignoring.
No, you're good. Most important thing is be safe. Soak up as much as you can today. Okay, wherever you are in the spectrum is okay. So here's the secret to real estate. This is something you are going to forever for your career work to mastery on. Okay, so it's okay that you're not a master today. You are always going to be working to mastery on it because it is the one thing that everybody has a challenge with. Like, how do we do it? Where's the best ROI? And how do we do it consistently over time? So I just want you to know, like, and feel comfortable and confident that if you are not yet at a mastery or where you want to be, where you are is totally fine. The goal is to move your skill set forward a little bit and increase your competence and confidence. Okay, so hopefully we're going to start on that journey today as you guys start to dial in your lead generation skill set. And then, of course, like not only just identifying where we want to find those leads, capturing those leads, right? And then systematically communicating with them so we hold on to them, or like so we nurture them over time, right? The better we're able to do that, the bigger our businesses will be in the long run. So that's really what today is all about in our capturing more leads. Okay. All right, here we go. You guys can still see my screen, right? All right. I empower you at any point today to say, slow down, stop. I can't see what you're talking about. Any of those things. Okay. You will not hurt my feelings in the slightest. Okay. So course overview. All right, we're going to talk about generating leads. We're going to grow your database. We're going to capture those leads. We're going to talk about capturing them through open houses. We're going to talk about capturing through social media and then capturing more leads. It's all about the leads, right? The more leads that we have, the better. But leads mean nothing if we don't capture, right? And the truth is that there is a world full of leads. It's just about who gets them. Okay. Today's agenda. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of intro slides. Systems at work, prospecting versus marketing, referrals, more sources, capture every lead, recaps and ahas, and daily success. Okay. You love people, but at the same time, you haven't yet learned to love hunting for them. Who can identify with this? Matt, you're smiling. Do you like it? Do you like the hunt? You see, you like it, so you're like, I enjoy the hunt. You like the lead generation, the prospecting.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Oh, well, that you are an anomaly, my friend. You're gonna do just fine in this business. Shelly, what about you? Are you like, I love the people, but I don't love the hunt? Where do you fall on the spectrum?
I'm more of the middle of the road. I love people, but I'm more of the casual. So, like, I'm out talking to my neighbors and I'll casually mention it to them and then say, yeah, you realize I'm a real estate agent. If you need some. So I'm more of I like to mention it to them. I like to make it known, um, and then ask them. But, yeah, and mention it to everybody, the gal that's making my cards. And, when I went to the home show, I mentioned it to everybody, but it's more at that kind of a level versus um, I haven't got to the door knocking yet. If I did, I'd probably take everybody flowers with my with a flyer that says I'm your real estate agent.
I love that. Okay, so Shelly, what you are talking about, right, and is your natural entrepreneurial spirit. And a lot of you are probably operating right now in that natural entrepreneurial spirit of like sharing our story or sharing the realtor excitement and joy, right? Like naturally inquiring or interacting with people. Now, if you're a people person, that probably sounds really exciting. If you're not a people person, you're like, that sounds terrible. Now, wherever you are, right, in that journey, what we're going to be talking about today is going from what we call going from E to P, right? And that is changing this entrepreneurial approach to our businesses to a purposeful approach to our businesses, right? Now, the reason that we want to change it from an entrepreneurial approach is because every single real estate professional, every single business owner has a natural ceiling to what we can accomplish entrepreneurially. Right? And we can go out, we can do those things to whatever degree. We're not tracking them. We are doing them at whatever level. But sooner or later, we're going to hit our head against a ceiling, right? We're going to keep bumping our head against a ceiling. Now, everybody's ceiling is going to be different, right? Some people's ceiling is going to be at 3 transactions, some at 12, some at 24. But everybody's eventually going to hit it. And the only way to break through that ceiling is going to be to apply purposeful action. Now, that's also the only way that we can apply consistency in your business. Now, one of the reasons why agents don't have a purposeful business and why a lot of agents don't make it in this industry is because they never applied consistency and they end up riding a transactional roller coaster, right? Anybody ever hear of this before? It's called the real estate roller coaster. Now, if you haven't planned for that kind of income, because our income follows transactions, right? We will often struggle with a roller coaster of business. So our goal in applying a purposeful approach to our lead generation, our prospecting, is to create consistency in our business that will then allow us to create consistency in our results and consistency in our outcome. Any questions around that? How does consistency in your business sound?
I would love it.
I love that. Okay. So here's my first question for you. It's not my first question. I promise I'm going to ask a lot of questions. It is February 11th. How many of you guys have a written business plan in place?
Mine's all broken up in pieces.
All broken up in pieces. And Matt, you say, yes, I do. Okay, I love it. So some of you do, some of you don't. Elmer, do you have one? If you do, you can pop it in the chat. Like, if you don't, that's okay. Our goal should be to get there as quickly as possible. If you don't yet, a great place will be today. We are going to start a purposeful action, first step in that, in identifying your lead levers of your business plan. Where are my leads coming from, right? Because that is a very, very important piece of where my leads are coming from, because that is going to then tell me where I should put my time, energy, and effort in the next couple of months up to a year in my business. Anybody feel like as they've launched their business, like they're, oh my gosh, there's so many things to do. I'm being pulled in so many different directions. There's so much to learn.
Absolutely.
Like do you feel like you gotta learn it all?
Mine was more that I felt like I needed to make sure I had my foundation in, but also that that I felt like I needed to make sure that I understood. I was just telling them that this morning because I did the broker tour, and I said that you guys just explained to me last night that because I was saying I felt like I needed to have everything, all this knowledge, everything. And she was saying today, she's like, just as soon as you think you know the contracts, they change. And I said, yeah, I said, that's my problem. I have this OCD thing about knowing everything and having all my ducks in a row. And I said, because I've always operated my businesses that way. I said, of being in control and knowing everything. And she goes, yeah, that kind of goes out the window with this. She said, you can't always have everything. And I said, yeah, they explained that to me, that you just have to get going and that they will have my back in this. And so that's been my hardest thing, is just kind of letting go and saying, okay, I'm not going to have all the knowledge just yet.
The one thing that is certain in real estate is uncertainty, right? And I often tell people this, and this is what you guys should have keep in your pocket, right? Like newer agents often come and say, I can't compete with experienced agents. Guess what? You can. So much has changed in the last couple of years. A lot of people haven't stayed up on it, and they are so attached to the way things used to be that you guys can easily outpace them because you don't have all that preconceived notion. You're not holding on to that. You're just coming in and running and saying, okay, I'm just going to provide the best service. I'm going to do the best that I can with how things are today. So just know that you can compete just as well as an experienced agent. And I always tell people, like, there is a saying that they have out there is, if we keep doing what we've always done, then somebody finish that for me. Like, if we keep doing what we've always done, then
we don't grow.
Right? Or we'll keep getting what we've always
getting
gotten.
the same results.
That is not true in real estate. And it's not true in real estate because that would assume that all factors have remained the same, right? That would assume that the market doesn't shift. That would assume that our contracts didn't change. That would assume that the consumer experience hasn't altered. That would assume that technology hasn't taken a massive step forward. So if we keep doing what we've always done, we will actually get diminishing returns. And that's why sometimes new agents have the upper leg, because they don't have to worry about all that stuff. They just come in and pick up and run. Cool?
Cool.
Okay, so let's figure out how we can help you run. Now, this slide to the two M's, I'm gonna read what they say about the two M's so I don't mess it up, because this is an interesting one. It says lead generation should always be purposeful and intentional. This slide depicts a system to help make your lead generation more purposeful. We call this the message and method of your lead generation, or the two M's. You may follow along in does everybody have their guide, or are you just like, if you don't, we can get it to you. Otherwise, you can see it on the screen, take a screenshot, take your notes. Says, number one, that first little column there, the message must, one, match your market, and two, make an offer for immediate response. Okay, so that's really important. The message has to match the market, and it was to make an offer for immediate response. Now, we love our acronyms at KW. That's also called a MOFR, make offer for immediate response. So it says, we match the market by tailoring the intended message to the sentiment and market conditions of a target group in the area in which you operate. And then we have a call to action that can be direct, right? An example of a call to action could be call me now, or an indirect call to action could say, look at my website and learn more. So let's just talk for a second in the industry that you're seeing today, right? What could be, if you were going to reach out to your clients today, what would be a message that would the market today would want to hear? And then what could be a MOFR that we could add onto it?
Well, Alex sent us a new first-time buyers that 3% or 5% help. I think it's national. So that would be definite. I thought I didn't finish reading all of it because I had ran out of time, but I think that definitely would be enticing.
I love that, right? First time buyers, a tempting interest rate. That's great. Okay, so Zinnia, I want you to say, okay, so that's your message. So what is your tagline that's going to get them into action? Give me the MOFR that you're going to use.
I don't know. That's where I stumble, is the wording. I don't know.
Anybody else want to help her? What could she add on to that? She's got this beautiful graphic, like she posted on social, that says, we've got home buyers assistance program, interest rates as low as 3%. What's the missing piece, you guys?
So the National Association can help you with your closing costs with a 3% or a 5% down that is not, that you do not have to pay back, maybe something like that.
Okay, then you're so close, but we don't want them to reach out to NAR. We want them to reach out to you.
Yes.
So Matt, she's going to phone a friend, fill in the blank.
You got to make the human contact. There's got to be a human touch to that element, not just business.
Okay, so what's she missing? Shelly, did you catch it? What's she missing? Help her out.
Is she missing that she's not making it directed back to her as them contacting her?
Yes. Where do they go to get that information? You got to come to me. Right? Like, here's a snippet. Contact me today to find out how to access this information. Right? The MOFR is the immediate, what do you want them to do? Are you interested in a free, no obligation market analysis? Click here to receive it today, right? Call here, email this. like my page, send this, do that, right? Like we're offering something of value and then asking for an immediate response. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
So action words.
Yes. Okay. So we're matching what's a compelling thing, and then we're not sending them out into the ether to find more information. We're giving them just enough information to go, that sounds interesting, and I have a full-time job. I'm going to call Zinnia for more information because it sounds like she's got this figured out. So all I need to do is DM her, or all I need to do is call her, right? Because that's her job, not my job.
Exactly.
I'm providing you the easy button. Okay. Is this helpful, you guys? Okay. So that's the message. One, right? Today, Alex stood up and said it's 5-point interest rates dropped to an average of 5.85. Awesome. Right? There's a whole lot of people that might be interesting to. That might make affordability a lot better for people. Right? There's a whole bunch of things that we could talk about. Okay, so there we go. So one, we have to find the message. There might be a million messages, and based on your target, those might be different things, right? You might be focused on downsizers. You might be focused on first-time buyers. You might be focused on people that are move-up buyers. You might be in like people that want to go into multiplexes or farms and ranches. Like if you have a niche, what is your message of the moment? And then what do you want them to do once they're intrigued by your message? Okay. Okay. So now we're going to talk about the method. There are two primary methods of getting your message out to your target group. One is prospecting and one is marketing. So can anybody tell me what the difference is between prospecting and marketing?
Isn't marketing you're actually targeting your customers with advertising and all of that, and prospecting you're sending out flyers and things like that. You're just prospecting for people.
Great. Anybody else want to add to that?
Prospecting would also be door knocking.
Okay.
Would prospecting be like throwing a wide net and marketing going to a smaller degree?
Just swap those, Matt. You were like exactly on, just swap, right? So marketing is so a great way to think about this is prospecting is active, right? It's an active, and it's going to include things like phone calls, face-to-face interactions, and phone calls could be like circle prospecting, it could be cold calling, it could be calling through your database, it could be belly-to-belly action, if you're networking, it could be door knocking, it could be doing open houses, it could be anything that is like you are targeting and going after it. Okay. Marketing is going to be more of a passive activity. So broad, you're casting your net wide, right? So marketing advertisement can be like radio, TV, newspaper. It could be billboards. It could be, you can put your face on the shopping carts, right? Like anything like that. It can also be online advertising, SEOs, social medias. It can also be direct mail. Now, direct mail can be targeted, but it's still marketing because it's passive. Okay. So some of these things you go, wait a second, it's targeted. So can it be both? And the answer is yes, right? Because the very best lead generation activities and or the best lead programs or strategies are agents that are a prospecting based and marketing enhanced, right? So in other words, we're using marketing to get our word out, right? Generally, this is who I am. But then you're using that prospecting to really build a relationship. In today's world, it doesn't talk a lot about it, but in this material, but since it's one of my new things that we're teaching, a great example of this is marketing could include things on how do I increase, in the old days, my SEO, so I appear like on the top of the Google reviews. Now it's on the top of the AI searches, right? Like, how do I do that through YouTube, or how do I do that through reviews? How do I do that through blogs or targeted social media posts? So when people look for the best real estate agent, I come up. That would be marketing, right? Prospecting would be calling through my database or calling through a circle prospect. But I'm doing that because then they go, hey, this lady Leslie called me. I'm going to go look her up online. And then they're going to go, oh my gosh, she's a top realtor. I'm going to call her back. Does that make sense? Prospecting based, marketing enhanced. This is exciting. All right, what questions do you guys have so far? Who's working hard on elevating themselves in the AI game? Matt, I am so not surprised. You get a gold star. What are you doing?
It makes life so easy. I mean, from designing my website, I had it help me do the whole business plan. Um, it helped line everything out, told me how exactly to file for the LLC and do everything else with that. Just generating everything. I use it multiple times every day. Video editing, filming. It's you got to learn it.
Cool. Yeah. I would say my only can I give you some feedback? Can I get permission to coach you a little bit? You may consider how you take it from a utilitarian tool to a strategy tool and a marketing tool now, right? Like a lot of those things that we just said were like utilitarian tools of like, how do I make my life more efficient? And now it's like, okay, how do I use this to elevate myself to bring me more business?
And yeah, I'm using it for some of this personal stuff, or not personal, but business stuff that I'm working on with what I'm going to be putting on Facebook and YouTube, and how do I make, the best thumbnail that gets the most reviews, and how do you really put stuff into it? How can you make one video and turn it into 6 videos, and it's, and then you can put these 3 on this and these 3 on this website, whether it's Instagram and Facebook. And so yes, I am using it for that as well. But yeah.
Good work, my friend. If all of that sounded overwhelming to people, don't worry. We're all on the journey together.
So can I ask a question on that? Because I kind of did a little bit of that, but I never went any further because I wasn't really 100% certain that the information I was getting was accurate. So how do you balance that accuracy with, I mean, because AI is it's only capable of certain things. So I was kind of like, I don't know the accuracy, and I don't want to post something that I'm not 100% comfortable with.
Oh, there's so many things I could answer for this. We can teach a whole AI class. That's not the intent of today's class. And there's lots of different ways we can do that. One, I'm going to give you a couple of quick tips, and Matt could probably jump in here. One, always ask it to cite its source. 2, you can give it the prompts to say, do not hallucinate, right? So there are certain prompts that you can learn to help guide you down a path to get the results that you are looking for. And so that way you can get a better a better result of what you're looking for. But the number one way is to always say, like, I want you to cite your sources, because then you're going to get more reliable content. And you should always be working on a private GPT. And remember, you all have Gemini Pro as being a KW agent. So that's a really good way for you to be using a private GPT instead of using a public GPT. So to upload data, to extrapolate information, et cetera, et cetera.
It's funny because mine keeps telling me it's beyond my scope. I can't do that. Have you had yours do that?
I have, and my feedback. Listen, I have conversations with my GPs often, and tell them they're not giving me what I want. And my realization is that is because that is my limitation, not theirs. That I'm actually not feeding them the information and or asking them in the right way to get out what I want. And that just takes practice on the prompts that we need to add and making sure that we're giving them the data that we want.
Okay. Yeah, I used mine to fill out my buyer's rep. It's really good for that, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. And it'll be good. It'll be, you guys, what I would say is there's going to be so much more, there's going to be so many more classes on how this can help. Today's class is really going to be about the personal aspect of like, how do we identify which lead generation sources we want. And then what I would say is once we identify those, then we're going to start overlaying like what are the tools that are going to help make that more efficient for you. One of those tools could be if you choose a lead generation source that can be supported by AI, and that's how you choose to lead generate, then that could be an option for you. But one of the really important things is that there's no one right way to do real estate. And people may tell you that, but the truth is there is no one right way to do real estate. There are many right ways to do real estate, right? There is a wrong way to do real estate, and that it typically has something to do with ethics, right? So if you're having an ethics problem, this probably is not the industry for you. But in real estate, there's so many different lead generation styles. Our goal really is to find one that is going to help you accomplish your goals. The ROI that we get on it is going to help you hit your productivity and your profitability goals, and that you can do it consistently, strategically, and will also bring you a certain level of joy and fulfillment, right? So we need to find those lead generation sources that are going to help you get there. Okay, so we're going to get back to leads are everywhere. There's 3 steps that they always say. Number 1, approach. Number 2, connect. And number 3, ask. So this is a very simple system. Oh, perfect. You guys chitty chat on there's lots of different screens over here. This is, we're just going to keep moving along, right? Like let's go back. When I say it's that simple, how do you guys feel? When I'm like, oh, it's 3 simple steps. I don't know. Now it's jumping around. Lead generation is this simple, you guys. It's approach, connect, and ask, right? Like it's this simple. Go. How do you feel? Class over. It's done. This is all you need to do. No? Okay, well, let's break it down a little bit. Number 1, approach, right? We're always listening for opportunity. I always think this is an interesting thing that they say, where it says we're always listening for opportunity. We're always looking for a conversation starter. And I'm always like, that seems very passive to me. I always look for opportunities also to start a conversation. Number 2, like connect. Here's the biggest thing is like when we're looking to connect with people, it's always about finding value. And I'm a big advocate of providing value to people before we are going for the ask, right? And that's what provides that connection. And I think that most people who have entered this business don't have too much challenge And number two, they often are nervous about opening up the conversation gracefully. They're usually okay in the conversation. So then they have the struggle with 1 and 3. Has anybody been in a place where they're like, I don't want to ask the people that I approach the people that I know because I don't want them to feel like I'm a salesperson? No, Shelly's like, no. Shelly, why would you say no? Matt says yes. Shelly says no. Like, why wouldn't you feel that way?
Sorry, I've been a salesperson, so the approach part of it, I spent years approaching people.
Yeah, you have a different perspective.
Yeah.
So this is I want you guys to get something like truly believe something in your head, right? Yes, the end result of a way that we make money is through the closed transaction or a sale. However, never in my life have I sold a house to somebody who legitimately did not want to buy that house. Right? Like, so I am truly providing a service to people who want or need to purchase a home. And I truly believe that I am the best person to help them navigate that process. So by not opening my mouth and having the conversation, I'm actually not doing them a service. Like, I would be remiss if I kept my mouth closed and I left them subject to an agent who is not going to take care of them as well as I could. This is not a sales pitch. This is a service pitch, because at the end of the day, this is somebody who has a need and somebody's going to fill it, right? And whether that's going to be done well or not. So if we can get our mind off of this as I'm a salesperson to I'm merely providing a service, and my hope is that whoever you decide to use, that they're going to deliver that in the best possible way, and I just truly believe it's me, then the conversation starter is so much easier. Does that make sense? Okay. Number two, the connection. So hopefully that makes you brave enough to pick up the phone. Hopefully it makes you brave enough to say, hey, I couldn't help but hear that you were interested in a property. I couldn't help but hear, right? Or has anybody been able to answer that question for you, right? The connection part is pretty easy for most people here, but this is the big one, the ask at the end. Guys, never leave a conversation, never leave an interaction, or never leave a transaction without the ask. We have to teach people how to treat us. A majority of the world does not work in the method that we do. They do not understand that our intention at the end of that is for them to return to us, because they are W-2 employees. Like, it doesn't even cross their mind sometimes that they want to return to you, right? A good way to think about this, it is our job to reach out to them. It is our job to follow up with them. It is not their job to reach back. It is not their job to follow up with us. When somebody ghosts you, they're not being rude. It's just merely not their job. It's your job. That's just not how the rest of the world operates, right? Okay. I'm going to give you an example that has always helped me with lead generation, and it will hopefully help you at the next open house. Are you guys ready? This will help you, because I promise you, you will get ghosted by lots and lots and lots of people. So this is the story I always tell. Have you ever gone into a store? Matt, you may not be able to relate, but Shelly, hopefully you can. Like, listen, if anybody's been in a store to try on clothes, has anybody ever gone into a department store and the sales rep comes up to you, and no judgment, Matt, maybe this is you, and they come up to you and say, can I help you? And what do you say? Right? You say, no, I'm just looking. You always, like, everybody says, no, I'm just looking. Right, Shelly?
And that is that I was in retail and furniture, but that is the number one thing that everybody would say is, I'm just looking. They're not just looking. They came in for a specific reason. And so, but they say I'm just looking because what they want is they want to be left alone for a little bit and they think you're going to attack them. And then once they realize that you're there to help, then the guard goes down and the door opens up and you get past that. Then you have the time to have the conversation. And then you're right, you never walk away without asking, is this what you want?
So here's the thing. I'm gonna take this analogy farther. Everyone, including you, at some point in your life, whether you're shopping for furniture or you're shopping for clothes, right? Like we're gonna shop for clothes in this situation. You're gonna say, I am just looking. And then you're gonna walk around the store and then you're gonna find the perfect outfit. And when you find the perfect outfit, what do? Well, I'll tell you what most people in the world do. They want to try it on, right? What percentage of the time do you think they go back to the first person who asked them?
Go to
Almost
wherever's convenient.
the closest, easiest, most convenient person to unlock the door and let them in to help them accomplish their goal, which was to put on the dream outfit. Guys, you are no different. Because in that consumer's mind, they never once thought about whether that person worked on commission. They never once thought whether they were tracking that individual going, wow, she is an incredible style. I can think of 3 other outfits that would be perfect for them. They never, ever crossed their mind because they are the consumer and we are the professional. It was not their job. So your lesson is, it's not their job, it's ours. And you better make sure you are the closest, most convenient person to unlock the door and open it up for their dreams, because that is who they are going to go to. And if you don't approach, connect, and ask and continue to ask, that will not be you. It will be somebody else. Because you yourself have done it, and so has everybody else in the world. And next time you're at a retail store, you might want to think about that. I always go back to the first person now because I'm like, I bet that was the first person, right? You think about salespeople different. Okay, connect. Okay, ahas. Any ahas so far? What time do we go to, by the way? Is it 3? Okay, you guys got to keep me on track. Any ahas so far? Tell me what you guys have learned today.
It's helping to just to tie in some things I've already thought about, some ideas I've had. Lets me know I'm kind of on a good path. It's just helping to narrow that path for me. So that's
Good, I love that. Glad we can confirm some things for you. Who else? Anybody else have any good ahas?
Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with them.
Stay with it. I'm looking at your slides, you guys. I'm going through like which ones are like important. Sorry. Any other ha-has anyone wants to share? Oh, this isn't very. Okay, we're gonna keep rocking and rolling. Do. Share. Share. Okay, you tell me when you see the orange screen. There you go. Got it. Thanks, Gary. Lead generation and contact support with simple rules. That means making contact with people through prospecting and marketing. This is your catch lead net, right? The likelihood of a move. This is really important, you guys. This is a new one that we often talk about. So this is the timeline of when people are likely to make a move. Notice that it says 7 to 10 years now. Does anybody know what's different about that now as opposed to what it used to be?
know, it seems like people are moving sooner now than they used to. It seems like it's more like 5 years. Um, and even in some places it's sooner than 5. So yeah, I don't know if it's the interest rates. I'm not sure why people are moving more, if it's job related. Um, but yeah.
Does anybody have a counter argument to what she said or any other thoughts around it?
I would have thought with the uncertainty and everything and the really high rates that have been happening since at least COVID and area, it's extended, but more like 10 to 12.
Great perspective. And you know what? Like we always say, your perspective is your reality. And just because your reality doesn't actually make it real, right? And also, there might be differing factors, like what kind of community are you in? Right? Like some communities might have a higher turn rate than other communities. What are you exposed to, right? We say, like, we often look at national stats, but real estate is local. So we also face what our consumer experience is nationally, and we have to be the local expert. So, nationally, what I can say is if we were to go back in time, we saw people were going on a market churn. They were moving, like, in some cases, like every 3 or 4 or 5 years. Whew, right? Like they are moving in and out of their homes very quickly. We saw that especially when appreciation levels were super, super high and interest rates were low. They were moving in, they were using their homes like little piggy banks, and they were moving on to other properties very, very quickly. Well, Matt, you hit it on the head. Like as time went by, we saw those times start to extend, uncertainty over time, interest rates. They locked in some of those sub 3% interest rates, right? And then they're like, got my dream home, interest rates adjust. Now we saw at this time, this churn rate go from up to 5 to 7, then 7 to 10, and now it's actually closer to 10 to 12. So you're right. Now, so what does that mean for us when we're lead generating? Is we used to be able to count on our databases or what we call our data banks, right, to turn over at a much faster rate. So, for example, in our databases, we used to count on what we call like a 2 for 12 or a 6 to 1 ratio. Well, we can't count on that anymore because people aren't selling their homes as quickly. And so there's just less juice in that squeeze. Right? So now we're at about a 10 to 1 ratio in our databases. Or if we're farming a community, we're just expecting them to stay in their home around that 10-year mark. And that's a big difference from 5 years, right? So when we look at our lead generation options, we're going to factor in, okay, if this was a community that sold 2 or 3 years ago, is this a community that people typically move into and stay in a 2 to 3 year time frame, a 4 to 5 year time frame, a 7 to 10, or are these forever homes that they're going to be living in them a long time, right? And you got to make sure you are approaching. We went back to that market versus the message. If we're a starter home community, then we're going to expect a higher churn rate than we would in like that forever home kind of estate community. Does that make sense, you guys?
Yeah, because I was going to say that there are different. It does seems like there's a different turnover in different areas, and so in my little area right here where I live, it seems like there's a fairly quick turnover, and you see people sometimes only, and I don't know if it's job related that somebody lives here for only a year and then they're moving again. And I'm like, holy cow, that's fast. I mean, so yeah, the turnover is a lot quicker. And I don't know why that is in this area versus some other areas. But then also the surprising thing is that in senior 55 and older parks, those also seem to have a little bit looking at some of those, they have a little bit faster turnover at times. I mean, I think they go through little spells, but it seems like they have a little bit quicker turnover as well.
I think that's a great point, right? As we look at our lead sources, we may be looking at different factors, demographic, geographic, psychographic factors. How does that factor in to the lead source that we've chosen? No matter what the timeline of the source that we've chosen, we want to make sure that we're catching them here, and that's when we're really solidifying that relationship, right? That's when we're saying we want to be top of mind. That is when we're saying, when you're ready to try the outfit on, I'm going to be the one with the keys. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay, prospecting versus marketing. We really talked about this already, so I'm going to skip through this pretty quickly. Immediate results, proactive, time intensive. Now, the piece that I didn't talk about with you guys, and this I think is just very, very critical. When we are launching a real estate career, we want to be heavy, heavy, heavy in that prospecting base. I know that seems counterintuitive sometimes because you're like, I want to get those foundations in place. I want to get my marketing in place. Yes, that is great. But the bottom line is we really need to be focusing on the fastest, easiest way and the least expensive way with the highest ROI to get to transactions or business now. And that is prospecting, right? Like, so, and then the next question is which lead generation style or lead generation bucket are we going to go to accomplish that? So as we're launching a career, we are always saying what is the fastest, easiest, most efficient, and lowest cost lead generation strategy to launch my business with right now, where we're building out that marketing platform. And if you don't already have one of those, we should select one of them today because there are ones that will qualify for that over others. Oh my gosh, my hand is raised. Lower my hand. Okay, so we talked about this, right? Here's the things that would go into your prospecting, marketing, prospecting and marketing, right? These are all in your slides in your little packet. We just did ahas. And then the other thing is that we're going to end with this, right? Like if we're going to ask, we're going to connect, or we're going to make that connection, and then we're going to ask. We're always going to make sure that once we have got them into a transaction and or a contract of any kind, they're already seeing that value, right? We're providing value in this case through the KW app. We might be sharing market statistics. We're going to be providing like vendors, etc. As soon as we start providing legitimate value, that is the time we should be asking for referrals. A lot of agents will wait until after they have closed a transaction with somebody, but the truth is we should actually be asking every step of the way, not after a transaction is done, right? Like this is very, very basic because it's the same concept of like, hey, as soon as you are like, hey, I want to buy that car, then what do you look up and you're like, oh my God, there's so many of that car on the road. It happens, the same thing happens to your clients. As soon as they are looking for a house, all of a sudden everybody in their world is looking for a house, right? Because they're out saying, I'm looking for a house. Their friends are asking them about buying a house. They're telling people about, did you have a good experience? And you need to teach your clients how to treat you, which means you should explain to them exactly how you get business. And if you intend to be a database driven realtor, then explain to them. Let me explain to you how I run my business. I prefer to work with only the best clients, and I find the best clients come from clients I love working with. So throughout the process, if you find value in working with me, I hope that I earn your trust enough to refer me to your friends, family, and coworkers. What that could look like is somewhere along the line of this transaction, you may run into somebody that you know that has a question about real estate or wants to know what their home is worth, or they may be wanting to look for a home themselves, or they just may be interested and have questions about the home buying and selling process. That is the exact moment that I would be honored if you shared my name with them. right? Like you have to teach them how to treat you. Give them exact examples of what could happen in their lives and what would happen. And even one step better, you say, and you know what would be really helpful is I understand that people are really busy. What would be really helpful if you would actually give me their information and I could reach out to them, and that would take the burden off of them because I know people get busy and this is really important information and I will absolutely respect in any referral that you give me. But I find that sometimes people, information gets lost and like business cards get lost and things get lost in the shuffle. So if you would trust me enough to just let me know that you have somebody who may be interested, and give me any details that you can, I'd be happy to reach out to them on a timeline that works for them. Why do I want their information? The answer is because
So
they're
you
never going to
don't
call you, right?
exactly.
They're never going to call you. Like, and if somebody says, "Hey, I gave your information to your friend," then you should immediately say, "Thank you so much. I am honored. Would you mind sharing their name with me so that when they call, I can make sure to take great care of them?" Awesome. I'm prepared for their call. Would it be okay if you gave me their contact information so that like I can make sure the connection happens, right? Like just ask. Don't be afraid to ask. And then here's the next thing, you guys. If you really want to be bold, as soon as you make a contact with that person, you call the person who referred you back and you go, "Thank you so much, Shelly, for referring Debbie to me. We had an awesome conversation. She's not quite ready to buy a house yet, but I connected her with a great lender. She's going to be working on things. It looks like we're going to be talking again in the fall. I just want to give you an update and thank you again for trusting in me. And also ask if you know anybody else that I could help." Like, why not ask again? I can't tell you how many times I've made that call and they're like, "Well, actually, my sister called me the other day." Or the person sitting in the cubicle next to me actually asked me, like, just this morning, right? People love it when you call them back and you say, "Thank you so much." And then you just ask again. How many of you guys feel comfortable about making that call?
I do.
Right? How many realtors do you think just call and say thank you for the referral, but never do the secondary ask again?
A lot.
How hard is the secondary ask?
I think it's very hard. I just posted that I got my appointment for tomorrow, and it's really awesome because this is the same client that gave me a referral the one that I lost, and he's given me another one.
Yeah. And here's the thing is, even if it doesn't work out, right? Like you still thank them. And here's another big thing. We always reward the activity, not the result. Okay. A lot of new agents will say, "Okay, I am going to send a thank you when I close on the transaction." No, no, no. You always reward the activity, not the results. You thank them when the referral is made. You send the thank you note or the gift card or the whatever. You can send something else if you close the deal, right? But you always like every like referral comes in, thank you goes out. Referral comes in, thank you comes out. Referral comes in. We are rewarding the activity over and over and over. And every time we reward, we ask again. That is how we create cheerleaders, right? Okay, agent referrals. What does this mean, you guys? How do we work agent referrals?
Well, Keller Williams has a great way of doing it. You just go in and once you have a client that's moving somewhere, you contact an agent in that area and you can look them up on maps to find one. Or I called some people that I knew and they told me a good agent.
You
I
can also go in and ask them to work with you and send you referrals.
Yep.
Oh.
I
Do you
got a
guys
referral fee just a little bit ago from Redmond, Washington. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
I love making money for doing nothing.
It's kind of what it is. Making a few phone calls.
So a couple things about this that I want to make sure that we're not missing out on. Number one, if everybody that you know is not in your database, they should be, no matter where they are in the world, no matter where they are in the country, right? Whether they're around the corner or like around the globe, they need to be in your database and they need to be hearing from you because no matter what, they should be. Also, with KW's app, they can be searching. It is connected to every MLS in the country. So they could be searching for stuff. Your family and friends can be searching for stuff on your app and contacting you when they're ready. And then you can make a referral in that area through KW's referral system, which is super easy in Command. You can just look somebody up and screen them in that way. So a lot of people miss out on this, or they're like, I don't have a big database. Well, it doesn't matter where you came from. Since we are connected to everything, you can still make a lot of money by just still being a professional, right? So that is amazing. In addition to that, also even within the state, right? Like if you don't want to travel, the great thing is, and some of you might be in like locations that this is well suited for, especially in some of our like mega agent offices. Like we have Coos Bay and we have Klamath Falls and we have Astoria. Like we have locations all over the state. Well, guess what? Like you should be using the agents of the Experience Brokerage Network as your database. Guess what? You have almost 600 agents that don't want to drive to your area, but may have people who want to buy or sell there. So you can use the agents that you meet or have information just like a client database. We just need to know that you're there and you're the person that we're supposed to be referring to. So if that applies to you, remember there's so many different ways to build agent-to-agent referrals, whether they are within the state of Oregon or across the country or across the globe, right? Like you have a real estate license, you can collect a real estate commission, and more importantly, you can take care of your loved ones and help screen them and make sure you can't do the transaction there, but you can help place them with somebody who's going to take care of them in as close of a standard as you would. Any questions about agent-to-agent referrals? Cool. Okay, so now we're going to collect all these referrals from all these different places, and that's really great. We're out there, we are like leads magnets, right? In whatever lead generation source you've chosen. That's what we call the grow method, right? And how many has anybody in all the Ignite classes that you've gone through, what is our ideal database size? Has anybody told you that yet?
Well, I've heard some people do well with 50 and some people do really well with tons. So I don't really know.
Okay. What do you think is a good goal to grow your database to?
300.
Okay. Any other guesses?
I know somebody in one of these other classes, one of the instructors said she had 1,200 to get up to. So
that's great. This is what I will say. Success is sequential, not simultaneous. How many of you already have 200 or more?
I do.
Amazing. If you are not yet at 200, that is your first milestone, okay? Like it is a race to 200, guys. And I guarantee you have 200. You just don't have them in one place yet, okay? So that is like, if I were to challenge you today, go get your 200. You have them in your phone, you have them in social media, you have them, get them in one place. It's a race to 200, and then we build from there, right? I told you longer times on market or longer churn times. So we used to say 200 was a great starting place. Now it probably is 300, but 200, I guarantee you have them. But the problem is we just need to get them into one place, which is that management section, right? So we're going to grow it to a minimum level, and then we're going to manage it, and then we're going to maintain it, okay? And then we're going to continue to grow it over time. So those are the three aspects of it. So we're going to go through those really quickly. I'm not even going to read this. We're going to minimum grow it. Take everybody we know and put it into a certain place. If you haven't already done this, there's a lot of ways that we can do that through going through your cell phone, through going through your social. If you have an email, a phone number, or an address of any kind, you have it. We put it into a single database. And for most of you, you'll probably be using Command, right? It's free. You should use that one, right? So that's the management, right? Because if we don't have a management system, we can't build a moat around it. Your database becomes your bank. So we have to put it into a management system so that we can systematically communicate with it over time. And that is your maintenance. Okay, so we need to first build a moat around the people that we have, put into a system to manage it, and then we can start setting up your campaigns to communicate with it. That's not what today's class is about, but the reason that that is important is because then we're going to go out and we're going to grow it. We're going to go grow it through lead generation, whether we're going to do open houses or door knocking or all of those things. But if we don't have a system to manage it and maintain it, then guess what? Then what's the point? We have no way to sustain that relationship. Then all that hard work is like we're pushing that rock uphill constantly. So first we take what we have, we build a moat around it, we start implementing automatic systems, and then we add to it every single week. So how many people, how many leads should we be adding to our database every single week?
5.
Matt, how many are you adding every week? You're adding 10. I love it. Shelly, how many are you going to add?
I think the goal is that you're supposed to add 10 per week, isn't it?
I love it when you guys are like, the rule is I'm supposed to add 10. Yes, I love it. And for some of you might be like, hey, I'm already at this benchmark, so I'm going to, maintenance for me is this. And the truth is if you're not at 200, you should be adding a minimum of 10. My guess is if you're not at 200, go get your 200, right? Like I'd say you can probably add 200 tomorrow. I bet I could look in your phone and find them. So 10 is the right answer. And how do you find those 10? Lots of different ways we can find those 10. Now, I'm going to tell you a story that I to help you think about this for a second, because I'm going to help you find them, because this is the number one. Capture every lead starts with capturing every lead out of your database. If I had a big whiteboard right now, this would be so much more fun. I do love whiteboards. If I were to offer you the concert of your dreams, right? The concert of your dreams, you get to choose anybody that you want to play, okay? I am going to pay for the entire thing for as big of a venue as you want, right? And not only am I going to pay for the talent, I'm going to pay for all the food to feed the people. I'm going to pay for literally all access passes for everybody. I am even going to pay for all of the travel expenses, the flights, the cars, everything. All you have to do is get the people there. And all that's going to require is some method to communicate with them. How many people would you have at your concert?
50.
Is that by choice, or that's how many names you have?
I think that's close friends or the close community.
That's not what we're asking. It's how many people do you have contact information for?
Oh, then it would be probably 290 maybe.
Okay. How many people would be at your concert, Matt?
I could probably connect with people that can connect with people that can get it to thousands.
Okay. Shelly, how many people are at your concert? I'm paying. I'm paying for everything.
And I'm like, Zinnia was like 50.
This is not like a private event.
Really? No. Oh, maybe 100.
Mm.
You just proved that's our limited belief.
Matt, thank you for breaking that limited belief, right? Thank you. You know what?
There may be 200. I mean, he's like he said, when you start getting people who know people,
So, okay, so this
kind
is
of like
what
it
you
more
guys
private.
you're gonna jump off this call and I want you to pull up your phones and I make a list and say, how many contacts do I have in my phone? I want you to go to every social site that you have and write down how many people you have on social. I would like you to make a list of every living relative, even if they're not on social, right? Like, guys, your databases are huge, right? I want you to make a list of everybody that you pay money to, your landscaper, your attorney, your hairdresser, right? Anybody that you pay for anything, any professional service that you participate in, like that, those people are your database. That's how big it is. You just have to start thinking about it in a different way. And you know what? It's a business database. They don't gotta be your friends. Okay. There's the referral network. If you're not familiar with it, you can find it on command. You can look for the area. Also, if you are not familiar with it, you can look up moving trends. So if you're like, what are the most common places that move to and from my city? You can look that up and then you can find realtors in that area to befriend them. So another cool thing that you can actually look up migration patterns on this. Worldwide referrals, we talked about that. Business to business referrals. What are business to business referrals, you guys?
Wouldn't it be another real estate or a like a title company referring business to you?
Or a home inspector.
True.
Yeah, it's all yes, and this is a yes, and this is exactly what I was talking about. So we're gonna go through. Has anybody ever heard about the program called Bold?
Yes.
It's a business objective life by design. We used to do this all the time. I'm going to tell you one of the fastest ways to build your database. Are you ready? The secrets of building a professional database. It's one of my favorite things to do in building a B2B. Now, there's a lot of way a business to business is any business relationship that you have, right? Any professional to professional. So like, first of all, you can do something like a BNI group. You can do any of those that like, if you're doing a networking, that's business to business. But today we're going to specifically focus on how do we build our database for the purposes of lead generation. So if you're looking for an activity to supercharge your database and the referrals out of it, I'm going to give you an easy step-by-step process. This is not in the curriculum. This is what happens when I show up at a class. Mara's going to be like, what did you teach them? Okay, so you are going to make a list of any and every single kind of service. You're going to start with home, anything around the home, property, etc. You're going to start there because then it's open up your mind. Make a list of anything that anybody would ever need when it comes to home ownership or property ownership, including like furniture, etc. What kind of services would they need? Painters, contractors, landscaper, furnishing companies, like interior designers, like estate attorneys, like, oh gosh, well, maybe a divorce attorney, right? Like, what is anything and everything that somebody who owns a property may ever want? A gutter cleaner, a window cleaner, an arborist, right? You're going to make a list of anything and everything that a homeowner would ever, ever, ever want. And then you're going to say, okay, if this is what a homeowner is going to need to service their home, what would somebody living in the house actually want to improve the quality of their life? They might want a hairdresser. They might want a masseuse. They may want a financial planner. They may want these other things. This is your professional network. And then you're going to start filling out, do I have somebody in my life in each of these categories that I would want to have a professional relationship? And this is the litmus test. Would they refer me business? Because you might have somebody in your life that would not refer you business, and that is not your referral partner. Because you might already have some of these categories full, and that is fantastic because you're going to start with those people. And if you don't have any of those categories full, that's who you're going to start with, right? But if you have any of those categories full, then you're going to start with that person and you're going to call and you are going to say, hey, Matthew, this is Leslie. I recently got my real estate license and I am looking for incredible referral partners. And because you are my favorite painter and I only want to be in business and refer my clients to the absolute best, I have a question for you. Are you currently taking on more clients? And you're going to say, yeah, I am. Fantastic. When I find the ideal client, how do I give them your information? Perfect. By the way, what is your ideal client? Where do you service? Wonderful. Awesome. Hey, Matthew, since you're so amazing, I often only want to refer the best. Do you have any other service providers that you would like me to add to this? Because I'm going to use this to refer to my clients. So is there anybody in your world that you think I should have on my list? Like anybody in construction, any drywall, any landscapers? Because if you refer them, I know I can trust them. Great. Thank you so much for those recommendations. Is it okay if I use your name when I call them? Thank you so much. Hey, Matthew, I want to know, I'm looking for people that I can trust in referring business. And I hope when you run into people who are thinking about real estate, would you be willing to keep me in mind for those referrals? Perfect. Would it be okay if I called you back every 3 months to check in with you to see if you've thought of anybody? Great. Is there anybody right now that you can think of that I can help today? Awesome. Okay, now here's what's going to happen. Matt just gave me 3 people. He gave me a landscaper, he gave me a construction guy, and he gave me a drywall guy. I'm going to call all 3 of those people, and I'm going to be like, hey, I just talked to Matt. He said you were the best drywall guy around. I am going to have the same conversation with him, and I'm going to ask him for more people. And then I'm going to call Matt back, and I'm going to go, oh my God, I just talked to Jeff. He gave me 3 more names. Thank you so much. He also gave me a lead. Have you thought of anybody else? And by the way, did you hear of anybody who I can help with in real estate today? You guys, this is the fastest, easiest way. And guess what Matt just gave me permission to do? Call him not only to check back with him, to thank him every time I talk to one of his people. He gave me permission to call him every 3 months to ask him if he has heard of anybody who wants to buy or sell. You guys, business people love when you ask them, how can I send you business? And at 1 year, you call them and say, hey, Matt, I'm reviewing my referral network, and I noticed that we didn't share any leads this year. What can I do to be your top agent? I know you probably know 5, but I just got to ask. I sent you 3 leads this year. I love being in business with you. How do I become your number 1? Because what did I just tell you? You ain't going to get more leads from me. You better send me a lead or I'm removing you from my list.
Yeah.
Okay, is this an easy call, you guys?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, and that actually gave me a good idea. Because I've had some guys do some work and they did a good job, but now I'm like, oh, I need to be reaching out to them because they're a good contact.
Can I ask a question on that? So I've heard some agents say take really good care of your referrals. Are there boundaries, like certain boundaries to be careful of on that?
There's always boundaries. That's a very broad question.
Yes. I mean, is it always with gifts? I guess I'm trying to figure out how to take good care of them.
Well, with my B2B referrals, the gift is I give you referrals, you give me referrals.
Okay.
Right? Like this is a mutually beneficial relationship, right? Like my top referral partners, like we would like it was I'm looking for somebody that we're symbiotic. Like they're both looking to refer businesses. If I've got like a home inspector that is loyal to somebody else or like I am truly looking for somebody if I'm going to give them a majority of my leads that I'm going to be in their top referral sources. And it's okay if they have somebody else, I respect it. But I'm a relation-based realtor. So I'm looking for somebody who's going to have reciprocity with me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, and don't, I mean, almost all realtors have kind of a handyman in their back pocket, so to say, because would you stop? Because when you have a homeowner who has to have repairs done on a listing, then typically they go to you to, give them somebody to contact to get those repairs done. And that is your source. And so yeah,
And it's good to have multiple, right? Because we're not endorsing them. It's good to say
Right.
here are three names of landscapers my clients have used and liked, right? Any of
Yeah.
them are fantastic. Like I got three, I have I have two attorneys, I have three landscapers, I have this, they might be busy. Like here is some options because I am a full resource, right? And then you're tracking that over time. So this is just one idea if you like a B2B. A couple of other great things about B2B that I always loved as like a high capacity professional. One, they always take your calls. Anybody else have challenges with people picking up the phone? Guess what? Business people pick up the phone. They also work during business hours. Anybody like their evenings and weekends? At some point in your real estate career, you will learn how to control your schedule. Like for me, having incredible B2B relationships, like it didn't take me as many phone calls because I had my top list and I could make a couple calls and pick up leads very, very quickly because I could call during a time block time. They were going to pick up the call. They were professionals. Like it wasn't a chasing game, right? Like this was a reciprocity game, but it's a very easy way to supercharge your database with high value individuals that are used to doing business in a way that is similar or symbiotic to yours. Cool? All right, what ahas have you had?
I I look at this when we were talking about business to business. I mean, you know, I'm currently looking for like a lawyer and a CPA and stuff like that. I've never had the need for one. I don't even know what to go ask them, but I think a good breaking stone is I'm a real estate agent. I'm looking for help. How much can they help me? And then I can reciprocate that. But I'm going in with you got to go in with a different mindset of I'm a business looking for you, not I'm a person looking for you, if that makes sense.
Yes, that's great, right? Like I'm not looking for the service, I'm looking to connect you. I love that. And I want my clients to be taken great care of. I'm looking for somebody who provides a great service to connect to my people. So great.
As my aha was the business one too, was that I hadn't really thought about how many, I know of a lot of businesses, and so I hadn't really thought of the business aspect of it and putting them in as my leads, and then also how many I can actually reach out to, um, and, you know, tickle them and say, look, you know, let's scratch each other's backs, so to say, and I'll, because I already recommend some of them, but now they can be recommending me, and so yeah, it can go both ways. So that was definitely an aha for me.
I'm so glad. And usually other business people have influence. They might have employees, they might have other connections, right? So people might be looking to them for advice, right? So to get, and you definitely need to have a key, like attorneys, insurance people, wealth planner, right? Contractors. Like you've got to have a core group. For me, divorce attorneys were always big. I had divorce attorney, estate attorney, that were like my key group, right? Like they were a insurance and lender, right? Like I could make those 4 calls but I had to give, right? Like when my divorce attorneys called, I might have to do multiple CMAs that they were going to battle in court to get a listing, right? Because it's never going to shake out, but they could count on me and I could count on them, right? So it's a reciprocity.
Okay, so now hold on, go back because I thought it was just kind of funny when you mentioned so so now so I'll try not to laugh on that one. So there was a reason you did the divorce attorney because they called you for a different reason. So you connected with them for reasons they asked you for the CMA, but then they also gave you a client after the fact. So it was a two-pronged thing.
Mhm. And I might have 2 clients out of it.
Oh my gosh, I had not even thought of that.
And I sold the divorce attorney's properties too. Those were bigger properties, right? Like, so yes, but they could count on me. Hey, Leslie, I need a quick CMA just to see if our value is right going into this deposition. Great.
So when you reach out to these divorce attorneys, what do you say? I mean, do you just say, well, do you have a real estate agent that you're working with?
I start with the exact conversation I gave you. This is what I'm looking for. Are you currently working with a real estate professional? Are you looking for more clients? And they usually say yes. Great. Are you currently working with or referring to a real estate professional? What would be of value to you? How would I send clients to you? It starts with a question, how do I bring value to you? If I don't know what value looks like to them, then I can't help them, right? I'm coming from contribution before I come with the ask.
Ah, okay. That's kind of my question was how do you engage that? Because it seems so odd to me, and I thought it was kind of funny, but now I see that there actually is. Okay.
And
So it's how do
every
you
call, I'm coming from contribution. Are you currently taking more clients? Great. Does your ideal client look like? When I find them, how do I best give them to you?
okay.
Right? Like once I have that, because if they're like, no, right, then I'm like, okay, well, this isn't going to be a win. Like, I don't want to send you people, right? Or do
Right.
you currently working with any other real estate professionals? Right? Because if they're
Right.
like, yeah, I give all my business over here, great. Would you ever consider adding another one to your like referral list? Yes, okay, well then what would our relationship need to look like for me to earn the right to make your referral list? How do I earn that right? I would like to
Okay.
interview for the opportunity to earn that right. I should not walk in assuming, just like nobody should contact me and assume that they get my database. Never. You don't get to touch it. But you
Right.
can earn the right to my referrals.
Right.
Isn't this
Right.
isn't
Oh,
this cool?
it
Okay.
actually, well, it is cool. Thank you.
You have no idea. I know Mara's gonna be like, Leslie, you're supposed to be on Capture Every Lead by now. Geographic farming. Isn't this fun? Okay. Geographic farming, a collection of homes, neighborhoods that an agent chooses to focus their marketing and prospecting efforts on. So this is going to talk about geographic farming. I am not sure if it's going to go into the other ones because I didn't review these slides ahead of time. And the curriculum's been changed since I last did it. Who's doing geographic farming? Anybody? Matt. Great. So I have already said there's 3 different kinds of farming. Does anybody remember what the 3 different kinds of farming are? I said them quick and I threw them out there. Does anybody remember? It's geographic, demographic, psychographic, right? Geographic, area, demographic, that's going to be like their age, gender, yada yada. Psychographic is like interests, right? Personality, interests, etc. And the reason that I say this is that people always talk about geographic farming, but there is more farming that's available to a lead generation style than just geographic. Geographic is the easiest for us to wrap our minds around, but I find that the best farming is actually a combination when we're talking, especially if we're trying to target our messaging, right? Like Matt, especially if we're going to be like talking like target marketing, right? Like we like if you're super locked onto a neighborhood, then it might be a very specific, but like I'm going to give you like an example, right? Like I might do geographically, I'm going to look in South Hillsborough for homes that are over 2,500 square feet on lots that are over a quarter acre that they've been living in for over 15 years, right? I have just combined a whole bunch of geographic and demographic combinations to create a farm of a very specific person to target market. I have another realtor who does Portland and specifically targets people that are looking for like bikeable properties, right? Like that is her thing. She is the realtor who bikes, right? So that's a psychographic farm, right? That's an interest. So I think that this is really important. Now that to know that the geographic farming is bigger, it can be a bigger conversation or can be a more purposeful conversation. Now, for the purposes of this, we started with database because we first build a moat around what we have because it is your highest ROI. Your own database is the highest ROI for lead generation, especially when you're launching a business. Your geographic farming is easy for people to think, I'm going to go out and pull leads out of. What would be a possible con of geographic farming?
I think dog parks.
Dog parks would be like something that would go into like a demographic or even a psychographic, right? Like, but why would be what would be the pros and cons of adding a geographic farm to your lead generation style?
I think just having something in common with people that you locate that might be possibly moving or they've lived there a long time and they're ready to move somewhere else. And they have a love for dogs like you do.
Yeah. I think like what you're referring to is right, we can identify areas that would meet a certain criteria pretty easily, right? And then we can target to it. And that's pretty easy for us to wrap our minds around. So that would be like the pro of a geographic farm. And it allows us to expand our database. So if we're wanting to supercharge that database, if we're wanting to find new leads or unmet leads, a geographic farm would be a great place to go. Now, we know that the conversion rate on met leads is higher. So here's some things that we can do to help a geographic farm have higher ROIs. Because a geographic farm would, in KW world, like in a touch campaign, we would be mailing to them on a regular basis. That was the first way that geographic farms came around, was we would be direct mailing to them at least once a month for a minimum of 12 months, which brings out the first con of a geographic farm, is that it can be very expensive, especially with the cost of mailing things today, right? So, and the other part of that is a geographic farm typically takes 12 to 18 months to get any kinds of results. So when you're going to be looking at a geographic farm, one, you need to plan on doing it for a minimum of 12 to 18 months to see any kind of ROI. And if you're going to do it, it should be enhanced with other aspects that are going to bring prospecting elements to it, such as open houses, social media, having direct conversations, which could be done through door knocking, and trying to get contacts. And you can do that through sometimes doing local events or opportunities that are going to change this from an unmet to a met and increase your ROI from the expense that you're going to have from that geographic farm. Any questions around that? Events and seminars. Now we're just going to go through in the last couple of minutes a couple of different kinds of lead generation activities. Events and seminars. This is a really, really popular one these days. Events and seminars. They can be filled up bucket of both marketing and prospecting because events and seminars are very easy to market that you're doing them, right? So once again, I'm marketing that I'm doing this event or a seminar, but then I'm bringing people in to have an actual like belly to belly experience, whether we're doing it on Zoom or we're doing it in person. It's crossing over that boundary, and it also allows us to pick up the phone and call as well. So it can fill a lot of those buckets, and we can communicate in a lot of different ways around that. So as we look at events and seminars, this has become a very, very popular way to draw leads in and deliver a high amount of value. Some of those events and seminars you could be looking, sorry, I'm skipping around. Some of those events and seminars could be things like a new home buyer seminar. It could be an investment seminar. It could be a seller seminar. It could be a downsizing seminar. So there's a lot of different kinds of seminars that you could be teaching, but we also could have events. Now, events in your world could be things like an appreciation event for your customers. It could be things like pictures in the park. It could be like we have agents in our network that do like an Easter egg hunt. Like we have one that does like 600 eggs every year. Like she does like that. No, she has 2,000 eggs and has 600 people at her event every year, right? Like, so there's a lot of different things that can qualify for events that bring people in, and also seminars that you can set up as a consistent lead generation style. And then, of course, leads everywhere. This is kind of a silly slide. They're at the grocery store. They're at the coffee shop. They're at the repair shop, the hair salon, dentist office, and everywhere you go. Okay, any questions? I'll ask you guys. Cool. So, of course, once we capture them, we talked about we need to put them into your system, which should be command, right? Like everything goes in there, as much information as possible. The only piece that I want to make sure we hit on here is, guys, you are real estate professionals now, which means that you have the ability to get anybody's information. A couple of things, if you don't have them already, is remember, you can look up anybody's tax roll. Like if they own a house, if you have their contact information and they own a house, guess in the state of Oregon, go online and look it up. You have their information. If they are a professional, go online and look it up. You have their information. So just sitting around saying, I don't have that is a limiting belief, right? If they are on social media, you can find their email. And if you really want to have a data mine information at the highest possible level, then guess what? We have the ability to sign up for FOREWARN, which allows you as a real estate agent with a license to look up anybody's information, which includes their criminal record or any legal action against them. So because you have a real estate license. So our network allows you to have a deep discount on it if that is something you're doing. It's also a great protection thing before you go out with leads, or if people sign into your open houses. But that is a great way for you to flush out your databases. Now, this is my chance to say to you, please always lead generate in a TCPA friendly way. Remember that your communication with your database as well as any contact is a personal offense and not covered by your E&O or your brokerage. A TCPA violation is a personal violation, and any violation, it goes down to the communication that you have. So please follow the TCPA guidelines. And if you don't know what that means, please look it up and you can run the names through the do not call list. Any questions around that? That's my disclosure. All right, once it's in your command lead generation plan, connect with your sphere. We talked about that, build a mode around it. Build and feed your database every day. Capture leads from open houses. You guys, open houses are key. Fastest, easiest, cheapest, highest ROI. One of the easiest way for new agents to show up as a professional is by doing open houses right out of the gate. Keller Williams takes more listings than any other brokerage right now out there, and there are more open houses that need to be held than agents to hold them. So the sooner you can master that, the more free leads that you can get. Build community with social media and capture leads. Execute a referral strategy. Choose a geographic area to focus your door knocking efforts, and consider events and seminars. All right, you guys, we are going to end it there with ahas and say, after that, and kind of talking about different kinds of lead generation today, what are your biggest takeaways, or what actions are you going to take from today and put into motion?
I just think a lot of it, just like I said, it reaffirmed kind of where I was going and where I'm heading and what direction I want to point. So that was really nice to at least get that reaffirmation that I'm on the right path.
So glad. And Matt, I don't know if you go by Matt or Matthew. Sorry if I offended by not using the right there. What lead generation levers are you currently using?
A lot of the social media, going to be contacting through the vendors. You know, we got a builder, landscapers, and plumbers that I'm affiliated with. We've reached out to people who've watched our dogs before while we've been out of town. Even people, the restaurants that we like here in town that we know the owners and stuff. We're reaching out to them, so trying to really grow the business part.
I love it. What about you, Shelly?
Mine is the business aspect of it, that yeah, I'm gonna get all my business contacts put in and start reaching out to a lot of them, and then some that, like some divorce lawyers, and seeing if I can't make some contacts there.
Build up your B2B?
Yep.
And you're going to get out there and start doing those open houses?
Oh yeah. No, I was talking to Ashley about that. Doing one of those. She said she wasn't sure if she was going to have one this weekend or not, but yeah, we were talking about that together. So, yep.
I love it. Okay, you guys. Well, we are at the top of the hour. Thank you so much for letting me jump in today and just kind of chatter at you for a while. If there's anything else that I can do, please do not hesitate to reach out. This was so much fun for me. I'm going to put my email and contact information in. I am not Tanya. If there's anything else I can do, or if you guys have any additional questions, you know where to find me. Other than that, good luck with the rest of your training. I'm excited to celebrate your first transactions, and have a powerful day. Bye, you guys.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Bye, Loni. Bye, Ellie.